America. 11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But they're not laughing anymore. Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history. There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our Treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22% and in many states 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. The wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interests to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward. And I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called most favored nation. And no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, trumprx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people, that's you, so they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower costs. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me, because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds, as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected, and our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
Well, that was it.
That's it, eh?
That was it. It just sounded like a campaign,
right?
Trail.
Okay, where were the
Speech.
grays?
It just sounded like it sounded like a stump speech to me. So I don't know. I didn't even know there were rumors that this was about disclosure. I find that a little humorous that we think he's just going to come out and do a national address and tell us aliens are real because of Steven Spielberg. Wake up, folks. Wake up, folks. It's a movie.
Exactly.
It's a movie.
Age of disinformation wasn't enough for everyone. Now we get the same.
Yeah. I said it before, like, if anything, it proves that Steven Spielberg is a genius marketer, right? Like he knew exactly how to time this film. He knew exactly what to title it. He knew exactly when to release the preview. He's Steven Spielberg. He knows how to make great films, how to market great films, how to get butts in the seats. That's what he does. That's why he is who he is. But it is a movie. It's a movie. It's like watching Harry and the Hendersons. It's not real. It's a movie. And he might have consulted people in the field to get their thoughts on things, but that's the same thing you can do by reading their books. So it's nothing.
The community's so twisted in everything that they think, and I'm just laughing because it's so obvious on so many levels. I'm straight up I'm looking through the comments on your YouTube stream. Okay, this cracks me up. This is funny. This is so indicative of the problem in the community. So I made a comment about there'll be no UFO disclosure in this. So then somebody commented, deciphering my experience 9191. That's obviously a troll account.
Obviously,
I mean, I'm trolling my own live stream with Gabe, obviously.
Yeah, no, you make a very
I'm a troll
valid
account. I'm trolling myself now. That's
Yeah.
brilliant maneuver. DBJ over 9,000. Good call. Yeah, I'm trolling the stream of myself.
You never trolled yourself before?
Yeah, I've never. I mean, that's a new one. I mean, I've done all kinds of things to myself, Gabe, but I've never trolled myself.
So let's. It was a 20-minute address, give or take.
Pretty short. That's short for him.
Here's the highlights. He said the Biden admin allowed over 25 million illegal immigrants, many of them violent criminals, into the country.
I don't doubt that.
No?
I don't.
Yeah. I know there was a serious
it concerns me.
enforcement.
It concerns me the potential legitimacy of that. Is that I really do feel that there was an open borders agenda.
Yeah.
So that's thoroughly concerning. I mean, of course, you know, him saying it and the veracity, like this is just us receiving it immediately. So it's hard, you know, but that's concerning to me.
Yeah, you can find interviews with border agents under the Biden administration saying it's kind of frustrating because we can't enforce, you know, the laws that we have on the books. Like we're basically being told not to do our jobs. And you can find that video out there. Like we're not making that up. So,
and I've seen
25 million sounds really high, but you know, it wouldn't shock me if it was that high. He said the United States was ruled by politicians that basically worked for lobbyists. They helped illegal immigrants. They released violent criminals into the streets. And he's saying that is now changed. What are your thoughts on that?
We absolutely have seen violent criminals being apprehended and released to extreme levels of absurdity. So, I mean, that one is, holds water in my book.
Yeah.
And I can only hope that there's massive change in that direction. We have laws for a reason.
Right.
You know, if we're not going to enforce the laws, there's no point to even, it's a waste of pen and paper at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the laws were written in blood, folks.
Absolutely.
That's typically how it goes.
And I'm not against legal migration. But if we're talking about millions, potentially 25 million illegal immigrants, I mean, that's a burden on our society that we, the people, should not have to bear.
It really is, because it's, you know, a lot of them are finding ways to access our welfare system and taking advantage of that system. And I am a big proponent of the welfare system, but it's here for those of us that have stumbled and need the help. It's not here for those
abuse.
That came here from another country because they need help. Like that's not what it's designed for. We have a whole nother process and funding for that. And when they come over illegally and take advantage of the welfare system, it's really taking out of the folks that need it the most hands in this country.
I was recently reading some news reports about the school districts in the state of North Carolina where the teachers were griping the ICE raids because they were saying that the children were scared to come to school. So they were seeing drastic drops in attendance. up to 70% of the students weren't coming to class because they were scared of being apprehended and deported.
Where was this?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Holy shit.
Right? So now consider what was just said there, Gabe. If 70% of the students are illegal aliens afraid of being deported,
yeah, that's
who's that school functioning for? Whose tax dollars are paying for education of illegal foreigners?
Right. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some reporter try to dig into that and we see some kind of scratch my back, I scratch your back program there.
That's far too common.
With what to do with all these illegals, where to send them and what to do. Let's see. We got a response to your troll. He says, wasn't trying to troll you. Just thought you were responding to my comments in the chat and it didn't feel relevant. My apologies. Well, there you go. But yeah,
accepted.
And it was more just to make a point, like we're in this time now where we don't even know what to trust. It's gotten that kind of crazy. Okay. Another point, we inherited the worst border anywhere in the world. So far, the first three are related to the border. We have the best border safety now. I heard him say the other day that we had 0 illegal border crossings, and I kind of chuckled to myself, like that's impossible. I think what he meant was like 0 observable or observed illegal border crossings, but he said 0 illegal border crossings. But either way, it has tremendously cut down. Right. Just the enforcement of these ICE agents and enforcement of the laws we already have on the borders. It's cutting down the amount of illegal immigration in the country big time.
I say pull the troops out of foreign nations and line them up on the border. Let them do all their drills. Let them do all their practice. Swarm that border with military training. We can put all kinds of Army guys and Marines in tents. They love that shit, right?
Well, the thing is now, too, like drug cartels are considered terrorists, right?
Yeah, well, thanks to the Patriot Act, now we get to label all kinds of things as terrorists.
Yeah, including drug cartels.
How far away are we from calling podcasters domestic terrorists?
Probably close.
Right.
Last time I checked, cartels run a lot of Mexico and Colombia, probably more so than Venezuela.
Fair enough.
And Mexico's right on our border. So I keep asking this question. I don't get any answers. How long before we're at war with Mexico? Because if the presidency bows down to the cartels in Mexico, who's really running Mexico?
I was actually anticipating that this speech this evening was going to be about going to war with Venezuela. That's right. What I was anticipating, actually.
Yeah. And I'm glad it wasn't.
Me too.
But yeah, it sounded like just a Trump speech. So another one, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world. It's not even close. He made it a point to say that. And I think and then he talked about all these peace deals he's brokered. And I think again, because he's still trying to negotiate peace in Ukraine. And he's still got to let Russia know we're a force to be reckoned with. And so he's still got to talk up the military, and we still have Taiwan on the table. It's just a matter of time before things come to a head there. So it's important we let folks know.
Yeah, this just seemed to me like a benign speech where he was just taking advantage of it's I don't know how, it's the holiday season, like things come out, like it's the the blockbuster movies. It's just it's a time to gain an audience.
Yeah. Keep people busy talking about stuff.
Yeah.
So
how long ago was it since he did the last speech?
Speaking of the holidays, this was a big one, right? 1.5 million military members getting a holiday bonus known as the Warrior Dividend. He says those are actually already in the mail.
I never got a Warrior Dividend. $1,776.
I never got a Warrior Dividend.
right?
But God bless them. They deserve it. It's hard to bitch about that, right? Like, what do you mean you're sending our troops a bonus? Fantastic. I think that's wonderful. I think that's good news. I wouldn't care if Trump was doing it, if Clinton was doing it, if Ross Perot was doing it. I think our military work very hard all the time, around the clock, so many hours you just don't even realize. So yeah, a little bonus there around the holidays. I think that's great. It's fantastic.
Happy holidays, troops.
Yeah, happy holidays, troops. He says energy restrictions over the years have driven up energy prices. He was kind of saying that same thing about farm equipment the other day and all of the EAP restrictions on farm equipment now, that basically all these restrictions that are there that are friendly for the environment are actually driving up prices. And as far as it goes with energy, he declared a state of emergency so that we can review the restrictions and possibly lift some of those restrictions if we haven't already on accessing energy. And we heard him say the other night, we've got 2,000 years worth of oil that we're sitting on. So I don't think he's hesitant to start accessing our own barrels.
They've been doing well for pushing things through for the state of Alaska to develop its resources.
Yeah.
So I've definitely been paying attention to that. Lest we forget, when the state of Alaska was purchased from Russia for the U.S., it was considered at the time that the state of Alaska had 600 years worth of the resources that the United States would need.
Wow.
And that was their understanding back then. God only knows what they've found since then. Yeah, I don't, this whole concept of scarcity is it's a con job.
It's a con job.
Con job.
The thing
job
is if we believe our science is going to advance, at what point do we put our faith in that? Like, we don't think in 2,000 years we're going to have a better answer than fossil fuels. We're fucked anyway. So we might as well start tapping.
You couldn't convince me that we'd be out of fossil fuels in 2,000 years, even if we maintain using fossil fuels. I mean,
Right.
many, many, many decades ago, at the rate that we were consuming it, which is a fraction of what they even considered we could ever consume at, they already predicted we would have run out decades ago. So that was proven wrong.
And let's not forget, children, if you need a history lesson, go back to how oil prices are controlled. This is a story that goes back over 100 years. We had so much oil, we didn't know what to do with it. That's how much oil we have. And so we put these controls in place to drive up the price. That's not a conspiracy theory. That is a fact. And we carry out that same strategy to this very day.
Imagine the benefit to society if we entirely wiped out the commodities markets and all of the people that rake in billions of dollars off of multiple industries for not producing a fucking thing.
Could you imagine if a guy couldn't be a billionaire for betting we were going to need more corn?
I wish I could trade your labor as like a commodities market person so that I can get a piece of your pie for doing nothing.
Right. That's what they're doing.
That's all that's going on.
That's all.
You need Gabe. Let me tell you, Market, you need Gabe, and I can get Gabe to work for you.
1.8%.
Yeah, no, 1.8%. Guy, come on, I get more than that. Who are you?
We can get you in the double digits.
I'm the important person. I'm getting you the work, guy. You get 1.8%.
We could talk.
This is the commodities market. We're in charge.
That's right. Okay.
Where would you be without us?
So yeah, I think whether it's Trump again or anybody else, I think that we're long overdue for evaluating our energy situation.
Totally. I thought it was interesting that he brought up that they're going to produce 1,600 electrical generation plants to bring the cost of electricity down.
Yes.
That's a bold statement.
Well, a big part of that too is going to be battery power. So we have these contractors right now developing these battery systems to basically use in lieu of regular power stations. They're on the go mobile power stations.
Gabe, batteries are stored power. You still have to generate power to charge them. Where's the power coming from to go into the battery?
That I couldn't tell you. But,
right. So this is where I think there's problems in these conversations that a lot of folks aren't paying attention to. Batteries don't inherently come with power in them. It's like saying we're making more gas tanks.
Right. Well, I would imagine generators, right? But
therein lies the statement.
And then your
1,600 electrical generation plants. Like you can use a generation plant to charge a battery, but first you need the plant before you have the battery.
Right. Right. But maybe I use the wrong phrasing, but essentially these are going to be mobile power plants. Generators and batteries. But from what I understand, batteries, they have made some pretty crazy advancements in batteries, and there's a big push in the technical contracting space to develop these mobile batteries that will provide power, kind of on the go. Obviously, as more and more stuff we use turns to technology, I mean, that makes total sense.
Oop. I have to go let the dog out real quick.
Who let the dogs out?
I have to let the dog out. She just barked and she's old, and I know exactly what that means.
Sounds good, buddy. All right. So last one. For the first time in 50 years, the United States is experiencing reverse migration. And I know we got a comment on this one that some of y'all don't quite believe that. Where was that comment at? So reverse migration, we are down more jobs than ever before to American AI. Let's be real. And I love AI, but not corporations fucking over people. That's a very interesting comment. I think very relevant too, because AI is a big part of it, right? And it makes you wonder what the next several years are going to look like as AI takes more and more and more of our jobs. But at least we're experiencing reverse migration. So that's good. Holy moly, what a world. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and end the stream. I can see Eric is busy with the dog. Who let the dogs out? On that note, I want to thank y'all for tuning in for this live stream of Mr. Trump. And we will catch you. Obviously, we did not get disclosure. I'm sorry to say tonight did not include disclosure. And quite frankly, I wouldn't expect disclosure from President Trump. Maybe at all. It's definitely possible that the man said he's not that interested in it. Right at the peak of interest in it. So if that doesn't tell you anything, I really don't know what to say. Thanks for watching this episode, Trump Live. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great evening, y'all. We'll see you next time on the Gabriel Speaks podcast. If you're on YouTube, don't forget, like and subscribe. If you're on X, don't forget, repost the stream, share it with your friends, all that good stuff. Have a fantastic evening, y'all. We'll see you next time.